Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. What's going on, my brother from another mother? Oh, man. So what's going on with you today, brother?
Man, peace to the gods, man. Peace to the gods. Oh man, it's been an interesting week. In fact, I think for my life partner to putting fire up under me this morning. But yeah, man, interesting week for myself because we had a death in the family, and we ain't got many boys in our family. So to lose a boy in our family is pretty rough. So it kind
Man.
of been can riding with that one for a little bit. But let me say this is very interesting. While we have the listeners, is there's a lot going on in the world right now with this new virus that's happening, and then we have this thing called the monkeypox. And so, it's very interesting where we're going to be going with the economics. I'm seeing a lot of different things happening, specifically where my business lies in the hood. There's some transferring of money going on. I've noticed that stores are starting to close, but the stores are starting to close are the one that don't sell chicken, right? And they're converting their stores over to either liquor stores or smoke shops. So, I'm watching these Arabs and these foreigners move towards more smoke shops and liquor stores now. And what does that say about the people's diet and everything? So with that said, I want to leave everyone with a little message about anxiety and depression. And because anxiety is something that leads into depression. And it's very interesting. I want to point to the breath, to understanding how you can remove anxiety before it leads into depression. Now, this also works for people who are having panic attacks. So what you want to do is get somewhere, sit still. If you're driving, pull over if you think you're going to have a panic attack and or you're stressed over something, right? And so what you want to do is you want to breathe through your nostrils and inhale through your nostrils until you feel all the gut area of your body with inhaling, right? And you want to hold your breath for at least a second, maybe 2 seconds. And then when you exhale, make sure your exhale is in fact longer than your inhale by slowly taking your mouth and closing your mouth as though you're going to whistle. Do that about 10 times and you will send definitely new blood cells up to the brain. It will reshape your thinking and your thoughts, because here's the thing: if you begin to focus on your moment now, and it's the greatest way to use your breath. Well, guess what? Ain't nothing happening right now. When you have an anxiety, it's either something you are fearing in the future or something you hate that happened in the past. Those things create anxiety, and if you stay there, they end up creating depression for you. And so the way you want to remove that is go to the breath. The breath takes you to this moment, because this moment is the only place you can find life. Life ain't in tomorrow. Life ain't in yesterday. If you are missing life at this moment, you miss it. You'll never get it back again. So keep that in mind. And hopefully next week, I would like to also talk about I am, the meaning of I am and the substance behind it. Okay.
Absolutely, absolutely. I tell you what, man. You got me on the I am stuff long ago, and it's my go-to. It's whenever I'm feeling stressed, whenever I'm feeling anxiety, I run to the I am affirmations and things of that nature to help calm me and to help remind me of who I am and the power that I have. That's just one way that I do that. But definitely appreciate this morning substance right there, the sustenance right there. Good stuff, folks. Like he said, today being a day, you'll never get it back. Today is August 6th, 2022, and it is the only August 6th, 2022 that you will ever get in your life. So guess what? Make it a great day. Make it the best day that you can ever make it, folks. I promise you, you won't regret it. With that being said, are we ready, family?
Man, we are ready. Let's get this thing rocking.
Hey, let's get this rolling because we got a fantastic show today, and we want to get down and talk about it. Folks, it is the Tipping Point Morning Show.
You are listening to The Tipping Point Show with your host, Mr. Just Ask Joe, John Yeah. Right here on WLOU. Stream it live on Facebook and WLOUonline.com. And now, The Tipping Point Show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's go ahead and get this cracking. All right. With that being said, folks, we want to first go ahead and bring up our first guest here. As per usual, we have our segments on the show. First up, since we're talking about crypto, we're not going to today's show. Just so if you didn't know, it's going to be about crypto. If you saw it last week, it was a healthy conversation, debate, whatever you want to call it, about crypto in the beginning. And we thought, you know what? Let's go ahead and talk about it next week. Is crypto and centralized banking? What do we call it? The death of our future, the killing of freedom, all that good stuff, folks. So instead of having the crypto wrap up first, we're gonna go ahead and bring my man, my other brother from another mother, brother Leonard Walker, to the stage right here with the stock spotlight. What's up, brother Leonard Walker?
What's going on? What's going on? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You
All right.
Great.
Okay, good. I'm outside today in the beautiful, lovely weather we're having. It's a little bit cooler because I know it's been hot as the devil's throne here.
But it can't be no cooler than you.
Well, that's up for people's discussion. So, anyway, to comment on what John Yah said is as you guys may know, that I'm a combat veteran. And I suffer from PTSD, so I get startled. So there are things that will cause me to have anxiety, and that breathing technique, that definitely works. Getting your breath, like I said, through your nose, out your mouth, clearing your head, getting yourself back together. You know, sometimes you might I catch migraines from different things. So most definitely, you know, I concur with John Yah as far as, you know, that breathing, making sure that your breathing is on point when you have anxiety and stress in your life, you know, because it's gonna come, and we need to know what to do when it comes. So most definitely. But getting into it, Friday was the jobs report, and in July, you know, a much anticipated jobs report, and in the month of July, we actually grew some jobs. We actually had more jobs. We actually rose by 500,000. As a matter of fact, it was 528,000 jobs that the economy grew by, which is a good sign. Okay, even though we're still dealing with inflation and we're still dealing with the housing crisis and increased interest rates and those sort of things. Cost of living is going up. The fact that more people got hired, okay, or more jobs were created is a pretty decent sign. So we're gonna talk about the 10% of something instead of the 100% of nothing at all. So like I said, is unemployment is at 3.5%. Wages actually grew 0.5%. All right, and they are actually up from last July by 5.2%. The top 5 industries that grew with jobs were hospitality and leisure, which of course is, you know, vacations and hotels and restaurants, that sort of thing. You had 96,000 jobs created last month in that industry. Professional and business services had 89,000 jobs. Healthcare had 70,000 jobs. The government added 57,000 jobs. The goods producing industry added 32,000 jobs, manufacturing added 30,000 jobs, and retail added 22,000 jobs. All right, so I say all of that, just to lead into my next segment about stocks. Um, Basically, right now money is tight. We're in a crunch. You're just trying to make sure everything is paid, trying to make sure that we can, trying to make sure all of our bases are covered. All of our essentials are taken care of. But we also may want to say, well, man, I still want to be able to invest and take advantage of this down market that we got going on. So what I'm going to give you is three stocks that are under $10 that pay a dividend. Okay, three stocks under $10 that pay a dividend.
Under $10, brother. This is new.
Under $10. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. The first stock, all right. The first stock we're looking at is a stock called Barron's BDC Inc. All right, and for you people that don't know, a BDC is a business development company. All right, business development company. That's Barron's BDC Inc. traded on the New York Stock Exchange. The ticker is BBDC, and I'm gonna use my military phonetic alphabet: Bravo, Bravo, Delta, Charlie.
Oh, thank you for that.
Yes, BBDC, Bravo, Bravo, Delta, Charlie. Okay, this stock pays. This stock don't pay. This stock is priced at $9.94 per share. It's got a yearly dividend of not quite $1, call it 96 cents, but it has a dividend yield of 9.66%. So what does that mean? That means that it's kind of keeping up with inflation. If you just got your money sitting in the bank earning 0.5 or 0.4%, you're actually losing money. All right, just by buying this stock and holding it, okay, you're actually either canceling out inflation, or you may get a little bit ahead of inflation. But it's a pretty cheap stock, okay. 52-week high is $11.55. 52-week low, $9.18. So it's somewhere in the middle. Once again, this is a quarterly stock. All right, it pays a quarterly dividend of about 24 cents. Now I know a lot of people say, "Man, we're talking cents instead of dollars here," okay? But those cents add up, especially when you're talking cheap stocks that's under $10. Okay, if you got $100, or you got $200, you say, I could throw in the bank and save, or I need to do something with it. This may be something that you might want to consider. So, and again, like I said, is always do your due diligence. I'm not a professional. These are things that I do for myself, right? And I'm just sharing it, and we're going on this journey together. The company's profile, like I said, the company's profile is a BDC, all right? And what it does is it lends money out to, or makes loans to, mid-level companies to help provide growth for that company, growth, acquisition, and refinancing. Company was founded in 2006. All right, it is 48% institutionally owned. All right, what does that mean? 48%. That means this company is pretty stable. Okay, when it's owned by institutions, you have some stability there, because now you have other forces driving the company to be ethical, and we mentioned that before. All right. Now here's something that I'm adding for this segment that I haven't added before, just to give you a little bit more information, and that is the BVPS, which is the book value price per share. Okay, book value price per share. Okay, this company book value price per share is $11.86, but it's being sold right now but the price per share is $9.94. What does that mean? This is an undervalued stock that is selling for a discount. So that means it has potential for growth. All right, you're getting it at a discount, so you get it, you hold it, get paid every quarter, and there you go. See, so that's a pretty good thing. All right. The next one we're gonna talk about is called Oak Tree Specialty Lending Corporation. Oak Tree Specialty Lending Corporation, and it goes under the ticker symbol OCSL, Oscar Charlie Sierra Lima, or Sam Lima, and it trades on the Nasdaq. Right now, it's going for $7.07 a share. Okay, it has a it pays a yearly dividend of 68 cents. Again, that may not seem like a lot, but at $7 a share, you buy a bunch of shares of this stuff, and before you know it, you got a little bit more money added to your income as far as dividend income goes. But here's the thing: it's a 9.62% dividend yield. Again, that's how you that is how you offset the price of or the cost of inflation by these dividend yields of over 9%. Plus, our inflation is not going to stay at 9%. All right, and if these companies grow and the dividend yield stays up high like that, now you're not just offsetting; you're actually making more money, right? And it's better than money being in the bank. Okay, pays about 16 cents quarterly. The high, 52-week high was $7.81. 52-week low was $6.20. This company again is a BDC again, and it provides credit solutions, flexible financing, lien loans, bonds, equity, co-investment for companies within the software industry, pharmaceutical, healthcare, and outsourcing. Okay, so that's a little profile on that. You can look it up and read more about its profile. It was founded in 2007, and again, here's another company. The share price right now is $7.07. Thank you, Vicky. $7.07, and the DVS, all right, book value per share, all right, is $7.26. So this is another company that is being sold at a discount. Okay, you say, well, that's not that much, a few cents here, a few cents there. Well, when you're buying hundreds of shares, possibly thousands of shares, that adds up. Okay, so all of this little nickel and diming, and cents and pennies, it all
it's some people that did some terrible things with the monies that they got from the government all through the last years, or the PPP loans. They didn't do nothing with business or nothing like that. Guess what? Y'all could have bought up a whole bunch of stocks.
Could have bought up a whole bunch.
Get out of jail cards right now if you had bought them stocks.
Right. This company is also 46.95 institutionally owned. So, like I said, that's another indication of stability and ethical practices. So that's what we want to look for in these companies. All right. So the last one I'm going to highlight is a company. It's going to be a little bit risky, and I'll tell you why here in a little bit. But the name of this company is called Sachem Capital. Sachem Capital. SACHEM Capital. Ticker symbol SACH, and it trades on the Amex. Okay. This stock, all right. This stock goes right now.
Hey, stop. Give me that ticker number again for me, please.
SA, Sam Apple Charlie Hotel.
Okay.
There you go. Sam Apple Charlie Hotel. All right. This stock trades right now currently at $5.01 a share. $5.01 a share. That's almost a penny stock, y'all. All right. Yearly dividend is 56 cents. But check this out. The dividend yield is 11.18%. Okay, so that overtakes that right there offsets inflation by a little bit. So you're going to make more, all right, when you talk about the percentage of inflation versus the percentage of earnings that you get on your investment. See, so yeah, it doesn't sound like a whole lot, but it is a whole lot when you buy a bunch of these, right? A bunch of these shares. All right. The 52-week high is 52-week high is $6.55. 52-week low is $3.73 or 74 or 72 cents. Sorry about that. And so that means it's somewhere in the middle. So you got room for growth there. Like I said, yearly dividend is 56 cents per year. Quarterly dividend it pays a quarterly dividend of 14 cents. Right. This company is what you call an MREIT. All right, a mortgage real estate investment trust. Right, and this company primarily deals in the northeastern part of the United States and Florida. But what they do is provide short-term loans for people trying to fix or flip houses. All right, fix or flip houses. Now, here's where it becomes a little bit tricky. Right now, the housing market is volatile because interest rates are going up. Okay, the price of housing is going down. So you may want to look and say, do I want to buy some of this? Do I not? Like I said, nothing lasts forever. You may be able to get into this, okay, and it may not perform as well at first, but lo and behold, when the housing market corrects itself, now you've got hundreds of these things, right? Hundreds of shares of this particular stock, and all of a sudden your stock is not only paying you a dividend, but it's also growing. All right. It's a fairly new company. It was founded in 2016. The BVPS, once again, BVPS is $5.61. So right now, buying it at $5.01 is undervalued. You're buying it at a discount, okay? And it's 17% institutionally owned. So you still have some instruments in place or some institutions in place that are going to try to create stability with this stock. So, like I said, with all of these stocks, guys, there's just no excuse now. I mean, I've just showed you 3 stocks under $10, all right, that you can purchase and pays dividends. So they pays you for holding. Companies pay you for holding their stock. So like I said, it's a good thing. It's a good thing to be an investor. It's a good thing, to take advantage of opportunity. Like I said, it's where there's fear in the market, practice a little bit of greed.
Yeah, and real quick before we let you go, I want people to kind of understand when you talk about dividends, when you talk about buying into stocks, that's your principal. So you got your principal of how many stocks that you buy. You should always take at least $50 a month, and nothing wrong with that, and then put it somewhere, right? And put it somewhere where you're not planning on looking at it or eating on it or anything like that. And then allowing what dividends, whether it is quarterly or yearly, to go back and reinvest back into the principal. Right. The principal gets bigger. Guess what? Your dividend gets bigger, and you continue to allow it to go back in, and guess what? Your principal gets bigger, and your dividend gets bigger. Because when you're talking about 6, 7, 8, 9%, 11 cent, wow, is pretty high for a dividend. And you're talking about really seeing your money grow faster than what a bank will give you, which is a fraction of that money sitting in that bank doing nothing. So you should easily take $50 a month. That's not a lot of money, or $5 a day, at least that, right? And throw it into one of these companies that gives you a dividend. Like you said, they pay you to hold on to the stocks, right? You can't lose that way. So imagine doing that, and you're putting it in there for 20 years, and imagine it continue to grow. Now you will look at you. Just do the math and figure it out of what 10%, 11% is of your principal that's already in, of how many shares that you have.
Plus also, what John didn't account for is the possibility of growth.
Right.
If these stocks grow, because this is unlike some of the other things that I have showed you, like cover call options, where they pretty much cover call ETFs, where they pretty much kind of stay within a set range. These are actually companies and stocks that have the potential to grow. So, you 11%, 9%, 10%, 11%, and the stock grows, and the stock price grows at the same time. Now your dividends increase, everything. See, for somebody who's, young, and you're looking to try to do something with your money, you say, like you said, not a whole lot of money, $50 a month, $100 a month, or whatever savings that you can try to put together. Before you know it, and it sounds like a long time, but like I said, at 54 years old, had I thought about doing this kind of stuff, or if it was available back then, shoot, hey, listen, You know, I mean, I'd be in way better position. I'm in good shape, but I mean, I'd be in super shape. All right, had this opportunity presented itself back, 20, 30 years ago when I was a young man coming up. See, so young people, please take advantage of this. People who are my age or just a little bit younger, still take advantage of it too. Because, hey,
Yeah.
60, 70 years old, you can have some stuff, supplementing your Social Security or your retirement. Now you got
Hey,
cash flow.
that's exactly what I was about to say too, because I used to be a mortgage broker with a mortgage company, and I used to talk to people that were so well off, and they're not working, and they got annuities, they got all these things, and this is before, and I was part time as a life insurance agent there versus full time now, and even now as I'm talking to people, and oh, my mortgage is being paid for by, this account over here. You know what I mean? Those type of conversations are not had in our community
Correct.
as much.
Correct.
And it's so important. And I love Vicky Irvin for jumping on last week. She was asked, she was like, how come, we get financial consultant, blah, blah, blah. And then she's tuned in right here this week. Why? Because it just makes sense. This is free knowledge and information about financial stuff, even as we get ready to bring up our sister from another mother as well, Heather Weatherspoon, with the financing in 5 minutes right here on the Tipping Point Show. And as we bring her up, I do want to let y'all know, guess what? Instagram, we're live right now. Y'all can always go back and check the show on Spotify, Google Podcast, even Apple Podcast. We're out there. So we're in your pocket whenever you want us. So if you missed any of this information, you can hit the replay here. You can hit the replay on different social media platforms. Why? And it's all free for you because we love y'all. Hey, what's up, sis?
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome, as usual, to the Tipping Point Morning Show. 5 minutes in financing. What you got for us today?
So today I have actually two things for you. So the first one, of course, is my financing tip. And my financing tip might sound a little crazy. Don't pay your bills on the due day. Right. Don't pay your bills. All right. So let's talk about it, especially credit card bills, right? I'm going to use me as prime example, Capital One. Capital One loves me so much, and I love them, as well as American Express. So with Capital One, my bill is always due on the 10th of every month. Don't pay them on the 10th of every month. Take your minimum payment, break it up into two. Pay it twice a month, 3 days before its due date, and 15 days before it's due. Why is that? This makes the credit card companies look at you better in a positive way. And what else does it do? It helps your score rise as well as your available credit. So if you have a credit card that's $600 and your minimum balance is what, $90 a month, take that 90 and split it up into two. Pay half 3 days before it's due, and the other half 15 days before it's due. Remember, we talked about a few weeks ago about budgeting your money and keeping that legend. Remember, we talked about that? So add that credit card balance in there. And within 6 months, call Capital One or call American Express back and say, hey, can I get an increase? This will make your ratio, your income to debt ratio, go down and your credit score rise up. And when Capital One will look at you, they'll go, wait a minute, you've been doing a good job making your payments on time. You've even made an extra payment, when in all actuality, you just made the same payment. You just broke it up into two. Makes it go higher. Work smarter, not harder. See, that's a good one. My tip for number 2 is, if anybody is wanting to know business credit, I do have a class coming this Tuesday, August 9th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Where can we go? Is there a website? Is there something that we can go to for that business credit class?
Yes, you can actually follow me on Instagram. It's funny you said that. Follow me on Instagram and visit the link in my bio, and it will take you to the business credit. Or you can send me a text on my business phone, 502-230-7744. And I'll put that in the chat.
Absolutely. Because I'm trying to, is it, what is it? What is your name on Instagram?
The Lady Brazilianaire.
Got you. I'm gonna go ahead if I find it and put it in the chat. Man, that's a dope tip right there, especially with the credit card. And I've seen it work. That's something else that I heard from your class as well. I attended her class, and I just want to let y'all know, even as a person who, I mean, dude, I've been, from selling sandwiches and making menus at 13, 14 years old in school. I've been messing around in business. So with that in mind, even taking her class, if you've been in business for years, it don't matter. There are things that I was reminded of that I totally forgot about that in taking her class, I was reminded of. And I'm like, dude, that makes so much sense. Why am I buying this stuff over here when I should be buying it through my business? I mean, hey, I'm telling y'all, you need to take the class. It's only what, $100?
Yep, it's $99.
$99, folks. Come on now. Y'all spent that last week on garbage. So go ahead and jump in. You need to hit her up. We're going to put it in the chat and all that good stuff here in a little bit. Hey, sis, we appreciate
you, for real.
Until next time. All right, folks. We're going to do a quick commercial break, and we're going to come right back. But I tell you what, we have a fantastic, phenomenal show for you today. Again, this show, absolutely amazing. We are talking crypto. We're talking the dollar bill. There's something that Leonard said that made me think about what we're talking about here. And as Leonard describes the companies and what they do, it does make me think about the utility of a crypto coin. It's kind of the same thing. And a lot of us were uneducated, and we just went out there and we were buying crypto left and right. And then we learned later, oh, there's a purpose behind some of this, and maybe we should evaluate that purpose. So we're going to get into that conversation here shortly, right here on the Tipping Point Show. We'll ask the question, is crypto and centralized banking a threat to freedom? Is cryptocurrency the Trojan horse? Hey, folks, it's us. It's y'all. We're good. We'll be right back.
Hey folks, check out healthdaddywow.net. 100% plant-based herbs and supplements. Whether you're in person or online, use the word tipping for 10% off. Remember, feel better, look great, healthdaddywow.net. Remember, healthdaddywow.net.
Habibi Trading Company, home of soap, sticks, and Saya Baba products. Over 400 locations at a store near you. Cincinnati, Ohio, Louisville and Lexington, Kentucky, Southern Indiana, or find yours online at sayababa.com. Again, that's sayababa.com. Habibi Trading Company, where you can find fragrances to incite your senses.
Table. We building one. We in the process of building a table. We building a table. I don't gotta sit at your table. I'm building my own table, and I will build you a table in the presence of your enemies.
You are listening to The Tipping Point Show with your host, Mr. Just Ask Joe, John Yeah. Right here on WLOU. Stream it live on Facebook and WLOUonline.com. And now, The Tipping Point Show.
Folks, I tell you what, we're back. And again, we have an amazing, phenomenal show. And I don't want to beat around the bush right now. I want to jump right in. You cool if we jump right in, Brother John?
Man, let's rock this thing.
Hey, I just want to introduce
two
amazing brothers that we're bringing to the table. First up, Brother Crypto Cliff. He's joining us for this conversation. Y'all know he does our 5-minute crypto wrap-up sometimes. And the brother is smart, and he's got a lot of knowledge in this crypto space. Folks, without further ado, welcome Brother Crypto Cliff. How you doing there, family? You on mute there. I think it went to mute again. I see the mute button on again. Oh, there we go. It's off now.
How y'all doing today?
Good. How you doing, brother?
Doing pretty good.
All right. Good. Folks, we also want to bring this other brother. Y'all saw him last week. You know, he was actually in the ring. He was tussling back and forth. You know, healthy man conversation. You know, respectable conversation. Last week as we were talking African theology, and then boom, we realized this brother is fluid in financial knowledge. So guess what? We brought him back to the stage here, Brother Pierre Lawson. Welcome once again to the Tipping Point Morning Show family. How you doing?
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Can y'all hear me loud and clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Happy Saturday, everyone.
Absolutely. Happy Saturday. And listen, real quick, folks, before we go anywhere or jump into this, this is breaking news. I just got this. When it comes to Health Daddy Wow, y'all remember healthdaddywow.net. You can see it right on the banner right below our faces. 50% sale August 6th and 7th. That's today and tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. The promo code is WOW50. Okay, WOW50. All right, that's healthdaddywow.net. Listen, y'all don't know this, but John and myself are both over 100 years old. Okay, but because we hit up healthdaddywow.net, we're able to get some of the dopest herbs and the dopest nutritional value ever. And it gets delivered right to your door. If you're local, you can walk right up on Ralph Avenue and hit them up. But either way, folks, it's healthdaddywow.net. Promo code WOW50, and you get a 50% sale. That right there is fantastic. I know some people, hey, they want some of them beads. They want a couple other things that they got in the store as well. So I'm going to definitely let it be known. Without further ado, folks, again, the question here is crypto and centralized banking a threat to freedom? Hashtag the Trojan horse. All right, that is the question. And I want to first give the mic to Brother John Yah and explain your position or your feeling of crypto. You and I talk about it, and I'm inclined to agree with the points that you make about the future of what could be when it comes to the removal of cash off the street. Go ahead and speak to that, please.
Yeah, well, of course, I've been in this area of finance for some time, particularly with my business, per se. I definitely reinvest in me. It's one of the things I do. My company still has growth to it. We're creating new car sprays, and every time I come out with something different, of course, we get displays and racks, and then we place them in stores. Well, these are like my ATMs, if it makes sense, right? So I could just go and check my ATM and then do the refilling, and companies and stores pay me right out. And so one of the things, my daughter is into day trading, and she's also was in that crypto space for some time. And this was Bitcoin when it first opened up. And it was very interesting watching it. But I always was a skeptic. And here's why. When I looked at crypto, anything dealing with crypto, it wasn't a product, company, or services. And of course, I'm old school, and this is where I lie my understanding of investing is dealing with things that have more stability to it, right? So I understand how currency works. I've also even dabbed and looked into Forex trading, which I learned so much about the value of the US dollar, the USD still being the highest trading currency in the world. And that's very interesting because I deal with several companies overseas, China and Taiwan and India. So basically, when it came to the crypto space, I wasn't seeing people winning. I was seeing people actually losing money as it began to change hands. Now, if you're talking about someone who's a millionaire and got that kind of money to throw over, that's one thing. Crypto it's very volatile. Yes, you can make money off of it, no doubt about it. But when you look at the real picture of it, more people are losing money and then they are winning money. It is like for me, being 61 years old, I've seen the pyramid scam or the pyramid scheme come over and over again. It pops up every 20 years. A lot of you new age guys don't know nothing about how far back that go. And where there's actually the pyramid where you got those at the top, and then when it bustles, everybody at the bottom loses. So you got to bring in more people to make it go up to the top, and then the money disperses, and then it goes away, and then it comes back. And even with multi-level marketing, they moved it over to that, to where you got companies now, and you bring in somebody, they bring in somebody, and this is how you make money. And now when the company really, like Noni Juice started out as a multi-level marketing, and then once it uses the people to get the product out and sold it, now you can find Noni Juice in stores. It kind of really saved them money from really going into the advertisement piece. So when I look at the crypto space, what I basically see is I don't see anybody really making any real money in it, like when we're talking about stocks and dividends and that are constantly growing for you. Yes, you can come in and you can buy some crypto space at a fraction of a penny. And then as it begins to become popular and other people invest in it, then it has a little spike that it grows. And so then all of a sudden, but if you stay in that space for a certain period of time, you need to watch it very carefully because, again, it's very volatile. It can disappear on you just like the drop of a dime. And so when I look at that, I'm old school. So therefore, I like things more safe, more stability to it when I invest in stocks or when I invest into my company. And I look at the products that I bring from overseas and then give a 800 to 1,000% markup over here in the States. So that's my thing. And I don't really see it. I see these young guys who are new into this space, and it's really kind of interesting where they doing these classes and teaching, but really no one's asking for where the receipts are. Show me some receipts. I want to see some money. And that piece right there is the hidden piece, because yeah, you may have somebody that made a lot of money off Bitcoin when it was $2, $3 and up to $500, and now look at it. Absolutely. And so maybe these guys are still pinching off it. But what happens is basically is create this understanding about crypto, very intelligent young brothers who are doing this space and learning about this. But the point is that do they really know how the financial market really works? When I started listening to these young brothers, one of the things that I hear is the scare factor of the dollar bill dropping, and then one day we're going to be in this space to where there's going to be no currency on the street. Well, that is the fear right there, and that's what really brings up my temperature right there. When you're talking about removing currency off the street, I think it's a very scary issue, and I think at that point we need to vibrate and or be anti removing currency until currency makes another change, like another backing other than the oil and your social security number. Then that would be different. But to remove currency off the streets, that's devastating. That is strictly going into slavery. And I don't think these young guys really understand that piece when they use that term that, oh, this is old money and it needs to change. But we're talking talking about going into a crypto space to use it for a currency when you don't know who's actually controlling that currency. It's too little too volatile to really look at it from that point. If you're looking at it as an investment, it's great for you. If you got the kind of money and you want to buy a few pennies, you want to buy some of those coins at a fraction of a penny, and it goes up a penny, you done made a piece of change right there. So that is my issue, and that's why I don't knock crypto as an investment. I knock crypto as the future to trade our currency. That's the piece where I'm at.
Got you. So, well said there. And I definitely understand and get where you're coming from. And I appreciate you for kind of laying that out there like that. Just the same, I want to kind of allow Crypto Cliff to come and speak his piece just the same, because it was last week that we kind of got into it a little bit. And I think, a couple of things there when we talk about it. Number one, terminology. When you say words like debunk and stuff like that, that maybe comes with a certain level of energy and something like that, or a certain specific, look when you say that. So I want to keep this healthy. I want to keep this healthy, grown man, gentlemanly debate. I want to stay away from inflammatory terminology as we all talk and respect each other. Crypto Cliff, go ahead and take the stage as you talk about your piece concerning what you just heard.
Oh, first and foremost, this is definitely going to be a definitely respectful conversation, because I respect the brother at first as a elder as first, automatically. But when it comes down to every single thing you said, brother, I could not disagree with you even more. The first things first, the United States dollar bill itself is becoming digital. The dollar bill is getting ready to go away. It's point blank period. You cannot even go to a banking system right now and actually deposit over $5,000 into it. It will actually tell you to do a wire transfer. Is that not digital? Now, the thing that you are really, really not understanding about cryptocurrency is that there are utilities behind cryptocurrency. Now, when it comes down is the centralized banking system and centralized cryptocurrency, is that a Trojan horse? I kind of agree with you on that one. But the pure nature of cryptocurrency is decentralization. Cryptocurrency was created from the very beginning to be an essential tool for the people to go against the government systems that actually control our finances. So when you talk about Bitcoin's number one goal was decentralization. Most cryptocurrencies are decentralized. Now, there's this thing, and I want you guys to look this up, called iOS 222. This is what's getting ready to merge into place right now, where the centralized banking systems, the SWIFT system, is actually merging with certain cryptocurrencies. Now, that right there absolutely is a problem. I would totally agree. But the nature of cryptocurrency is decentralized, meaning it cannot be controlled by a banking system. It cannot be controlled by a government system. The key point that you're missing out, brother, is that crypto has utilities. Certain cryptocurrencies have certain functions to make society run smoother and more efficiently. But everything, and I do mean everything, is going digital. Everything. The United States dollar itself, like I said before, is inflating at an alarming rate. Ever since they took us off the gold standard, we've been going down. Ever since. The United States dollar eventually will be taken over by another currency. Look at the debt right now. We're in $32 trillion of debt. 32 trillion. The real estate market is basically collapsing. Everything around us is collapsing. I travel the world. I was just in Dubai in March. I was in Qatar a month before that. I was in Jamaica before that. Yes, the United States dollar is the most dominant currency, but for how long? For how long? I think we're thinking about this the wrong way, and we're going into it the wrong way. Now, we're talking about a centralized cryptocurrency. I can totally agree with y'all. We can talk about it. But even at that, as an investment, That's a good place to actually be in because it's going to bring mass adoption to the crypto market. But the key component that you're missing out is decentralization, brother, and utilities into these cryptocurrencies. I can go into at least 50 different cryptocurrencies right now that have certain utilities that are helpful for society. And another
Give us
point
one.
you actually came up with, you said that no one's making money in cryptocurrency. You're looking at a crypto millionaire right now as we speak. I've been in this space since 2014. I've actually created 25 other crypto millionaires. I took 600 plus people from living paycheck to paycheck to having at least 5 figures in their portfolio. And guess what? Most of them I didn't charge a fee for it. I did it for free. There are opportunities in the crypto space that outweigh the stock space. There are opportunities in the crypto space that outweigh other financial markets. We're looking at a transformation from the fiat proof of trust system into a system that's based in technology. And I think that's the key component that you guys are missing. We're in a transformation of wealth right now, and that transformation is going into technology. So thinking in those old ways is cool, but for how long? That's my question. For how long?
All right, all right. So, as we talk about it, then Pierre, you're up next. I would love for you to come in and kind of dissect some of what you've heard here on both sides of the table and give us your point of view. Tell us why your point of view is of value, meaning what it is that you do as a capital market analyst.
You muted. You're on mute.
All right, sorry about that. First of all, I want to thank the host. I want to thank you, Joe. I want to thank you, Elder John and Leonard, for being on here and introducing everybody. Crypto, first time meeting you, my man. So I salute everything you guys are doing. Awesome. In the space of this conversation about cryptocurrency being a Trojan horse for central banking digital currencies. I think that there's a couple of different things that we can approach the topic on that be a value add. I have no qualms about investing and trading crypto or anything like that. The problems that I have is that, for one, money, the technology of money. First of all, money was an improvement on the barter system. Okay. Money is the thing that makes civilizations civilized, right? That's what takes tribes to civilizations, because of money. Exchanging. People don't want money. People don't care about money. First of all, people want what money can buy. So the objective value is the exchange value, because people don't want the money. You want to get what the money can buy. So it's the purchasing power is what is objective about money. The subjective value theory is what's on full display here with the crypto and digital currencies and things like that, where you say anybody can assign any kind of value, like some arbitrary value to anything, and that's what it's worth. And that's not quite the case, but it's a good play, and people can manipulate it because it's such a thin line. But I just wanted to highlight the objective use value, the objective exchange value. That's what's objective about, the whole money situation. And so, from my background, a student of Austrian economics, and again, working in the financial markets, we listen to, guys like Dr. Murray Rothbard, who says that money is not an arbitrary unit of account. Money is simply a commodity. Okay. It's something that has to get its value from a real world use before it becomes a money. And a lot of guys in the crypto space understands a lot of this stuff, actually. I think that where we mostly disagree on is the means, which some of us are gold bugs. We believe in hard money, and some of the guys believe that crypto is the answer. I think that, from my point of view, is that I think that yes, crypto could be a Trojan horse for the central planners to usher in their central banking digital currency. Um, and I think technology is another thing that we can address too. A lot of the crypto guys, they love the technology things. I love technology. I have so much technology in my house. My whole family is all about technology. The one thing from personal experience and observation, you guys can let me know if I'm right or wrong. Technology tends to have this thing where it overhypes. It always overhypes and underdelivers all the time. And then technology is something that's constantly being improved, right? It's constantly being improved. You see people like Warren Buffett don't like to touch tech stocks and stuff like that because it's just coding, right? The thing that technology, the perfections of technology is what actually makes it imperfect. It's I want you to really digest what I just said. It's the perfection of technology is what makes it imperfect. That's a little bit about that. I want to dive into it just because before I got into the financial market, I was in the music industry as a publisher, an engineer. I used to do mixing and mastering and production. And one of the big things in music production, and this is going to tie, I'm going to make it click for you guys, but you have analog and digital. Anybody that's in the audio space understands analog and digital. You have so much vintage analog equipment that is really expensive, it's highly sought after because of the imperfections of the imperfections, and it gives it a high quality that's in demand. Whereas digital things devalues the value of the analog. So that's why you can get all these apps and stuff to make music, and everybody make beats and stuff like that off of Fruity Loops. It's cheaper quality. It's not the highest quality. Analog is the highest quality. Digital tries to mimic the analog, but it can never get to can never get to that quality because it's perfectly in zeros and ones, and oftentimes the sound comes out too sharp. And so all this perfectly in zeros and ones mathematically is perfect, but as far as what the human value use for it is imperfect. And it's the imperfect thing, which is analog, that's actually perfect for the consumer. So that's why you see a lot of those technologies, they are better from analog versus the digital. So just because it's digital don't mean that it's actually better. It has other imperfections that a lot of people skip over. And I think that the same thing with, with all these digital currencies. It comes with things that makes it imperfect, right? You highlight one area and say, oh, this is going to be great for exchange and stuff like that, but then it causes other issues that you haven't identified. So I think that understanding what central planners are is another thing. Central planners, for those who don't know, central planners are the governments, right? These are the governments, or those people that's in cahoots with the governments that's trying to control all societies, right? This is not a conspiracy. This is a fact. Okay, you got the World Economic Forum, you have the United Nations, you have all these people that want to plan societies and plan economies. Now, the thing with cryptocurrency, a lot of people champion cryptocurrency because it's supposed to be the combatant of that. It's decentralized, right? And I think that we all kind of want decentralized systems, whether you on both sides of the argument. We all want decentralized systems where we have control of our money. Money is the exchange is something that is pretty much divine, if you will. You have to have it. But what central planners do, they want to plan societies. They want to direct where you spend your money. They want to direct where your monies go so they can create whatever they want to create. Okay. Not to get into any conspiracies, but just to understand that's like the gist of it. And so from a central plan society, you have individuals planning, which is just us in a free society, us being able to plan to pursue the goods, pursue the things that we want to in life. You have that freedom. Okay, so that's what we talk about, freedom, and America is the freedom experience, the freedom experiment. So that's why we have lots of liberty, but that's actually starting to dwindle away with other legislations and stuff like that, along with the currencies, along with the cashless society agenda. So there's a cashless society agenda. The thing that you must understand is that it's a fact that all governments must have control over their currencies. Okay, all governments must have control over their currencies. And so the issue with cryptocurrency is that it presents a direct attack against the central banks, against the government. It is in odds. They can't coexist at the same time. The thing about governments is that the government will not compete with cryptocurrency. So cryptocurrency, again, it's a decentralizing, situation, and I'm all for that. Like I appreciate that quality of the whole crypto space. But to think that the government is not going to sabotage it, ban it, outright outlaw it would be, I think, a fatal error in those who, are in the crypto space to not see that coming. And the reason why government have not, suppressed crypto because it is not a threat as of yet. And I think that the crypto space is actually helping the government to facilitate what it wants to do, which is to, again, they're working on a central bank and digital currency being manufactured by MIT right now. Because as you've mentioned, the dollar is going to collapse as all, fiat currencies collapses. And so To me, the solution is to go backwards. What people say, go backwards, the old ways. The technology of money, again, we have over 5,000 years of history of what money is. Money is gold. Robert Kiyosaki called it God's money. Okay, it is real. It is the it's not the artificial. It is the natural. It is real. God made it. The Creator made it. It is in the earth. In the internet space, it is artificial world. It is man-made. It is the perfect situation that I said is imperfect. It's perfect because it's all zeros and ones, that technology. But it is designed to mimic gold, which is the real deal. Okay, just like you want you want the real deal or you want the deal though. Ask your girl if she want the real deal, she want the deal though. Gold is the real deal. Crypto is the deal though. Okay, so like that's just my thoughts on it. Hope that didn't offend anyone. But I said a mouthful. I'll give the mic. I'll give the space back to you guys, and so we can continue the conversation.
So, man, as we really look at this, all right. So you said something important there. You said something about the dollar actually crashing, losing value. Leonard, I would like for you to kind of chime in on that because you have this conversation often. We have this conversation often. So chime in on the idea of the dollar bill crashing or losing its value.
All right. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
All righty. Hey, like I said, what's going on, Crypto Cliff? What's happening, Pierre? Good to see you on the show, my brother, fellow Carolinian, out here doing our thing. Yeah. But the dollar crashing. If you look at the patterns of how, and I'm gonna chime off of what Pierre was talking about. If you look at the patterns of money, okay, what makes money real? Okay, gold. Why is gold money? All right. Gold is money because one, it's rare and precious. Okay, like I said, it's in the earth, and two, it's very labor intensive to be able to acquire. So if you have a piece of gold in your hand back in the day, that means that it took slaves, it took foremen, it took all types of things. It took people to find it to get it, so it had value, right? Because it was very rare. As we go throughout time, what we're seeing is money becoming less and less tangible. Okay, dollar bills. Okay, every time you print a dollar, okay, look at this inflation that we got going on. Every time we print dollars, okay, in the treasury or currency in the treasury, we owe the banks, we owe the central banks more money, because, like I said, it's cost to print it, right? And it's invisible debt, right? It's debt that doesn't really exist, but the banks are charging it. So every dollar that's printed, every bill that's printed is worth less and less and less and less and less. So how do we take the labor aspect out of money? Well, you create digital money. All right. You create some digital currency. Okay. It takes the labor completely out of it. And people everybody I think is in agreement of a decentralized form where individuals are responsible for their own economic finances and trade and how you exchange goods and services. I think everybody kind of agrees upon that, right? And like I said, as dollars become less tangible, digital currency now all of a sudden is the thing. This is going to happen, right? But the banks will control it because the banks have the market share of currency right now. Unless you can go to a grocery store, which some you can, but all grocery stores, all doctors' offices, all car dealerships, all real estate offices, if you're working at a job, okay, and they can pay you in some sort of digital currency, right? You get paid, you exchange your goods and services everywhere, right? The banks are still in control, and the banks are still going to control the digital currency. So, like you said, is devaluing of dollars is digital going into a digital currency, centralized digital currency, is the next step. Matter of fact, what was it? Nicaragua. Nicaragua's official Nicaragua's official currency, I believe, is a digital currency now. So, and Nicaragua is not part of it. You know, it's not a G20 country or a G8 country. It may not be a G100 country, right? But yet and still, the idea of a nation, okay, nation having digital currency as its official currency. You know, now imagine if you had nations that had things to trade and say, okay, you know what? In order for you to get stuff from my nation, you're going to have to spend my type of currency. Okay. Well, how can I get some of your currency? Well, you're going to have to buy it with your currency. So, like I said, is you know, what was that coin? I forget the coin that the banks use. The banks actually use it to transfer large sums of money. Okay, large sums of currency. And at one point it was going up, and now it's back down again. When they first, you know, when it was hot. I forget which one it was. Was it XRP or one of them? But either way, like I said, it was the Ripple. All right, I believe it was the Ripple coin or something. But either way, banks are already involved in this. You know, dollar bills. You know, still, like I said, the dollar's still strong. You still, you know, go overseas. But I think, like Crypto Cliff is saying, is how long is that going to be? All right, and what's going to replace it? You know, this digital thing is happening. All right, as an investment, it's a little bit risky and volatile. But I think the beauty of the whole purpose of cryptocurrency was giving the power, purchasing power back to people. And when you start taking these dollars away and people start to, you know, using this type of stuff, now, you know, now, but look at it. You got your phone. You got, you know, matter of fact, all of your phones, we're already being set up for this, right? Already with the technology. So, you know, you can pay for stuff on your phone. You pay, after a while, you'll be able to pay for stuff, you know, with you know, you'll be able to have bio recognition. You're already doing that with facial recognition and with voice recognition on your phone. It's already happening. See, so like I said, we're being set up, and it's so easy that we don't even realize it. See, so yeah, the dollar. I can't predict when it will, you know, finally be replaced. Okay, I don't think anybody, because it's still strong, right? But you know, it's going to happen, because you see, if you look at the patterns in history, money is becoming less and less tangible. So that's the deal. But who's going to control the intangible money? I think that's the question right there. You know.
So let me ask the question here. Let me put this out. So when we're talking about crypto as an investment or crypto as a currency trade, for instance, when we're talking about stocks and dividends, we're not talking currency trade. It's not like, well, I'm gonna go to the store and I'm gonna pay with the stocks I have in Nike or stocks I have in AT&T to go and buy these. So when we're talking about that space, this is the scary piece. If we're talking about moving away from currency, from trading hands, meaning for me to be able to have something specifically in my hand. Now, digital currency is not new. It's been here, right? When I transfer money overseas, it's through wire transfer. That's digital. I ain't sending them $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 cash. I'm just doing through my bank wire transfer. Now with the Alibaba, they changed the game where you can just go to your credit card and use your credit card. Now you ain't got to go to the bank to do wire transfer, which is very interesting at that piece. But at the same time, when I go and buy products over in China, I already know that China it's illegal to have paper currency and everything's digital. But the value that I'm having with the dollar bill is still very high. Again, I can go over in China and I can buy products and then bring them over here and make 800% markup on it. And so then I can create more of this fake general currency and to be able to move it in other places. And I think that's the piece. So what do the world look like if we don't have some type of currency that we can trade hands opposed to happen to be plugged up in order to receive the money. So if a person's on the street selling flowers, they're trying to come up, right? And they're not digitally plugged up, how do they get paid if we're moving all the money off the streets? And so that's the scary piece of what that looks like. And I don't believe that the government is not aware of crypto. I don't believe that the government don't have control. I believe this. Hey, if you don't know your enemy, this is one thing I learned. He will create the problem and create the solution for your ass for you to get into it. And that's the trick, right? Because don't think he ain't in control of that shit. If you are sadly mistaken if this government, the powers to be, those who are running the banking system, the Treasury Department, are not familiar with this money used as currency. The question is, is it a trap? There is something that's leading you down the road in the future. I feel sorry for my grandbaby if the world continue to go this way, and then you have total slavery like right now in China. With being able to control people's currency with the flick of a button, guess what? When you in China and you act up, guess what you can't do? You can't travel to another province. That's like traveling to another state here in this country, right? You can't travel the subway, the train sets. They actually can cut off your whole currency to where all that money that you claim to have, or all the currency that you claim to have built up, they can shut it off with a switch. That's the fear that I'm speaking of. Can we talk? Can one of y'all give me an understanding about that piece of the removing the currency off there and looking at it pure as an investment, like we're talking stocks, or we're talking about removing the currency off the street and using crypto cards or coins for our trade?
Can I rebuttal to that? What a lot of people don't understand about the crypto space, and I've been in this space for long enough so I remember this because I used to actually practice this. When the crypto first came out on the market, crypto was actually traded by paper. A lot of people don't understand you don't need to have an internet base to actually trade cryptocurrency. Most of my cryptocurrency, most of my Bitcoin, most of my Ethereum, most of my XRP, most of my Cardano is offline. Cryptocurrency can be completely traded offline. That's the piece that a lot of y'all are missing out right now. Y'all missing on. See, it's a digital currency, but it gives you full control of your currency. That's the piece that you're not understanding. It gives you control. It makes you your own version of a banking system. Now, let's talk about the centralization part. Absolutely. If the government goes with this whole iOS 222 thing, if the government goes full throttle with it, they will have access and be able to cut off centralized cryptocurrencies. That's the Trojan horse that they're pushing right now. That's the part I totally agree with y'all on. I don't like the whole centralization of cryptocurrency. I'm a totally decentralized cryptocurrency trader. But is there investment opportunities in that? Absolutely. Absolutely. But the key component I'm trying to get you guys to understand is cryptocurrency is all about liberating you from those financial systems. You don't need to go to the internet to trade cryptocurrency. You can trade cryptocurrency peer-to-peer. That was the whole basic premise of Bitcoin.
So, and I think part of that, when you talk about that crypto cliff, then, okay, first and foremost, nobody, we don't know who or where this quote unquote creator of Bitcoin is at. Right? Nobody's talked to him. Nobody knows where he's at. We don't even know if this dude is still alive yet. And to me, right off the bat, that's
still alive, ever existed.
Oh yeah, ever existed. This man is Jesus. We don't even, people ain't even 100% on it. You know what I mean? And so it's like that right there in and of itself is scary when you start talking about crypto, because in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, the government kidnapped him and, killed him off. And now they put one of them CIA masks on somebody. And now he's talking to whoever the people that he talked to help create the Bitcoin. And it's a fake Santuko, or I forget what the dude's name was.
His name is Satoshi Nakamoto. And honestly, when it comes down to Satoshi Nakamoto, and this is my theory, this is the research that I've been doing on Satoshi Nakamoto, he actually used to be able to when Bitcoin first came out back in 2010. He actually had a whole Telegram group where he was actually communicating with people. So he's a real person. And a lot of the people from back in those days think Satoshi Nakamoto is actually a brother or sister who actually dropped this white paper of Bitcoin and the new version of blockchain on the grounds of Harvard, just so it could liberate the people. Now, has cryptocurrency, especially centralized cryptocurrency, turned into something else? Absolutely. But the basic premise, the backbone of cryptocurrency, the backbone of blockchain technology is liberation.
Yeah, I want to ask. Yeah, I want to ask Brother Crypto Cliff a question. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. I know you was earlier talking about doing paper transactions. And to Brother John Yah's point, I think what he's saying is that there are transactions that occur in society, whether legally or illegally. I'm not, endorsing anything, but there are lots of transactions in society that occurs not in a digital, sense. Okay, whether you're, like you said, somebody's washing cars on the streets, they don't have a payment system to accept anything digital, right? You cash over cash, right? Cash over hand. You have, even in an illegal sense, the dope boys. Ain't no dope boys transacting nothing digital if they got any wits about themselves, because it can be tracked, it can be traced, right? People who, you want to book a hotel, you got mistresses or whatever, you sleep around on your wife, you ain't gonna try to book that in something digital, you want to try to book it cash, right? Just certain things that people do in society, like the little kid with the lemonade stand trying to make a little money. When I was a kid, I used to cut grass, I took cash. Just those type of things, those functions in society occurs. And I think that I know people fall into this whole technology thing, like everything is going to be digital. I actually take the opposite side of that view, because again, some of the imperfections I was mentioning earlier, and then it's really an ambitious sci-fi type of society that they want to create, and it's the central planners that want to create this, right? But my question to you is, how are those people who are not plugged into the matrix, but they still trying to make a living, which they can do today with the current monetary system where it is, how can they actually create exchange with the crypto space?
Well, how they can actually straight, I can tell you just like this. Like, for instance, and to kind of go to the point, I have nieces and nephews. Now, they have things called mobile wallets in the crypto space. Mobile wallets that you can put up on any phone. Everybody has a cell phone these days. I literally, for my nieces and nephews' birthday, I send them free cryptocurrency, and that's going from one mobile wallet to the next. No government system can see what's on that mobile wallet because it's encrypted. It's totally decentralized. One of the key components of cryptocurrency is pseudo, to be completely anonymous, so that nobody can see what's going on in the background. And yes, in the beginning stages of cryptocurrency, that absolutely was about dope boys and trafficking and a whole bunch of other stuff. But I can send my nieces and nephews money directly to them from my crypto wallet to their crypto wallet. Pseudo. Nobody knows that transaction went through, but me and that person. So I think that we're going to get into a space with the centralized cryptocurrency model, to where people will be able to send cryptocurrency back and forth just like Cash App. Cash App has already proven the system. Zelle has already proven the system. Venmo has already proven the system.
But think about that with what you're saying is that, I mean, all of those, Cash App especially, have now been influenced by the government.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the same thing can happen in the crypto. Same thing can happen. It is already happening in the crypto space through mobile wallets, through decentralized wallets.
So when you say that, then are you saying that the same thing can happen, meaning the government can come in and say, we're going to put a tax on your money as you send it through these mobile wallets?
No, I'm not saying the government actually put a tax on there. What I'm saying is that's a means for people to move decentralized.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying when I say that the government has been influenced, has influenced Cash App and other apps. Is now over $600, just like normal. You are supposed to report that, and then Cash App sends you 1099 every year if you have received over $600. So I mean, what's to stop that from happening? in the crypto space for mobile wallets.
Yeah. So you're saying when you actually get ready to cash cryptocurrency completely in, absolutely, if you're doing it on a United States-based exchange, they can absolutely see all the transactions. But what I'm trying to tell you is if you're on a decentralized application, something that the government cannot control, something that no institution can control, they have absolutely no idea what's going on in a decentralized application.
So does that allow you to, for tax avoidance, does that allow you to evade taxes?
Yes, if you're moving in certain ways.
And how does the government feel about that?
You know how the government feels about that. I don't even have to answer that question.
Yeah, here's the piece, though. Here's the piece. You can't prove none of that, young brother. And in fact, what you're talking about, you are unaware of this system and how this man works. Man, you are so far down the rabbit hole that don't make sense. It's like this, okay? You know, we're living the American dream, but you have to be asleep to believe it. And so here you are assuming that they can't track, they don't know about that. Man, that's a dangerous road you're coming through. I don't know who told you that. You guys ain't lived long enough to know how this system and how this government works. Man, I'm telling you, it's just that you are so uninformed of you're so trusted into this thing. You believe in it, but you don't know how they actually walk and how they perform.
My brother, I'm gonna tell you this, and you said this last time we actually got on this call, that I'm not old enough to actually know about these things. When does knowledge have an expiration date?
Listen, let me explain something to you, and it's about sitting at the foot of the master sometimes, right? Like we talked about me bringing on Edwin Fox, and Edwin Fox is with Raymond James, which is a multi-million-dollar firm that invests million-dollar money, right?
Billions of dollars.
Yes, and so when you're in that space, when you're in that kind of space, you can't challenge that. You haven't lived long enough. This guy's been in the business for 40 years. He's a partner, right? And I know you read a few books and you looked at some few YouTube stuff. And so I know you assume that you got it. But here's the thing about sitting at the foot of the elders. I learned this in the dojo years ago. You don't come into the dojo and tell a 40-year grandmaster, I can teach you something. Oh, that move right there, I can debunk it. He will break you down and send you home to your mama because you are so unaware. You haven't lived long enough to know how this government works is what I'm saying, just because you read a few books. I'm talking about experience. There's a difference. And you probably don't have any elders to teach you that, to tell you how it works and what they're doing out here. Like I said, even with the pyramid scheme, it's not new to you guys who are you new age guys. Yeah, y'all may have just heard of it. This has been going on for years and it pops up every 20 years, right? So I'm just saying is that it's too early. It's too new for you to even give me any advice on that area and try to get me to believe that somehow the government ain't gonna know nothing about anything you move digital. He knows, and everything digital can be hacked, right? And that's the illusion where you are right now. All of it is really just at a balance that they can control at any time. To say they're not in control of it is to say they're not aware of it. They are very much aware when you move currency through any digital form. They are not aware when you move currency hand over hand. That's the piece they are fearing and that they want to remove, because once they get you dangling and then you think this is the way and you buy into that, that's the trap. So 10, 20 years from now, I would love for you to be around, and I would like to see that space then, and then we'll see how the government works on a little different level.
Again, I cannot disagree with you anymore, my brother. And this is why. You're speaking on something you have absolutely no idea of what you're talking about. And I say that very, very respectfully. You say I read a couple books. No, I've actively been in this space since 2014. Read a couple books. I've written books on crypto investing. I'm an established author, best-selling author. Go look at my book on Amazon. Said sitting at the foot of an elder, Alex Muskinsky, the guy who actually created the technology on your phone for Alexa. He's one of the biggest crypto enthusiasts on the planet. Guess what? I was a brand ambassador for him. I sat at the foot of elders. You cannot tell me anything about crypto space because you're not educated enough on the crypto market to even tell me about it. This is the problem. This is the problem with a lot of older people when it comes down to, and I teach a lot of older people. You guys are stuck in this mindset that nothing new can actually come up and actually be worthy. I'm not saying the old money system is not working. We already know it's not working. We already know the inflation rate is up right now, 9.3%, and in climbing. We already know we actively in a recession right now. We already know this recession is going to last another 6 years possibly. We already know the housing market is going down. We already know we had a $32 trillion debt right now, the highest in U.S. history. We know these things. What I'm trying to explain is that there are new ways of doing things. Listen, what makes a country great is the technology behind that company, that country. When the wheel first came about, whoever owned that wheel, whoever created that wheel, was the leader at the time. The new technology runs the new age of a country. Cryptocurrency is that technology. When I say this cryptocurrency is totally decentralized on a decentralized level, I'm telling you for a fact, I have moved millions of dollars in the crypto market, decentralized, and no government system has came and knocked on my door yet. No government, no issue. Now, when you move a centralized cryptocurrency, you get problems like what XRP is dealing with right now, being in lawsuits. There are wallets, there are wallet addresses, there are different ways you can move throughout the crypto market where you are not being seen, and this is the problem. This is why governments have been trying to shut down cryptocurrency since the dawn of time. Since the dawn of the age of cryptocurrency, they've been trying to actively shut down the crypto market, and it's because crypto is totally pseudo.
So, Crypto Cliff, I think that what you're trying to convey to Brother John Yah is that it's not that you guys are not aware that the government knows, but your position is that the government can't do nothing about it. Is that correct?
Exactly. They've been trying to do something about it for the last 12 years.
So I got a quick question. I got a quick question for whomever can answer this. With cryptocurrency, has anybody bought any real estate, and how does that process work with cryptocurrency?
Yes, I bought real estate with Bitcoin. Now, when you buy real estate with Bitcoin, well, I mean, not with Bitcoin, with Ethereum. I bought real estate properties with Ethereum. And guess what? I did it through a smart contract. A smart contract is basically a self-executing contract that automatically opens up when conditions are met on both sides of that party. Me and one other party member went into I bought land I buy land all the time. Which land particle did I buy? It wasn't the one in Colorado. It was the one in Wyoming. I bought 20 acres of land in Wyoming with Ethereum. Once that smart contract opened up, once he actually gave me the deed, I verified that I got the deed to that property. And guess what? He got his Ethereum. That was between me and this person. I had to go get the title put in my name for that land. But that contract, that smart contract was between me and another person. That's the power of crypto.
So do we pay taxes on that? Can you pay taxes?
Yeah, you have to pay taxes on that land because now you own that land. But do you have to pay taxes on that transaction? No, it's like he gave me that transaction. He gave me that land. He gifted me that land. But it was through a smart contract.
Okay.
I have brothers right now overseas buying land in Africa right now with crypto. Like I said, I was in Dubai in March. Guess what? I was paying for all my dinners, my hotel. I paid for all that with Bitcoin.
So I guess, here's a question here. What keeps the government at bay? Who creates the utility that the coin use? Who establishes compliance and standards for cryptocurrency? And Vicky, there are platforms, and this is the other side of it. When it comes to the crypto space, there are platforms, educational platforms like Crypto Cliff has classes and things of that nature that he charges a nominal fee for. The Bitcoin campus, when you go to the tippingpointshow.com and click on partners, you'll see the link there. Crypto Cliff is also a member of Bitcoin campus. And these are spaces where you can be educated and ask questions and talk to people that have been in the space for years and get a plethora of knowledge about it. Because I think there's some value to the idea of even what Crypto Cliff was talking about is the ability to make purchases with your Bitcoin. I mean, you've been in the Bitcoin space since it was like what, $150 Crypto Cliff?
I bought Bitcoin the first time for $127.46 a piece.
How many did you buy?
I bought around 50.
And you held it?
And I've been actively buying Bitcoin ever since.
Awesome. So when you say, because you said this earlier, a Bitcoin or a crypto millionaire, then is that solely based on the assets that you hold, or the assets, or is this classes and other stuff involved when you call yourself a crypto millionaire?
Here's the thing, and I can be completely honest. I am Crypto Cliff. I'm actually in a whole 30K right now behind my brand because I actually actively teach people. Teach people. I go to conferences. I host conferences. I'm in the hole in my brand right now for teaching our people how to get into this crypto space. So I don't make much money off of cryptocurrency by teaching people crypto investing. This is totally from my investments. And get this, I've also created other crypto millionaires. I'll give you a scenario. Cardano was 2 cents 2 years ago. I got a lot of brothers in my investment group on Facebook, BMMO Investors. I got over 1,800 members in that group who I've taught personally. I had brothers get into that play. I told them Cardano is probably going to go around $2 in the next couple of years. They got into that play at 2 cents. Cardano went up to $3.17. Guess what? They became millionaires in less than 2 years. This is crypto. Cryptocurrency moves just like any other market. It goes up and it goes down. They have bearish and bullish markets. The thing is, most people don't understand the markets of cryptocurrency. Once you understand the markets of cryptocurrency, you know when to buy in and when to get out. Once you understand that everything fluctuates off the backbone of Bitcoin, you understand when to get in the market and when to pull out of the market. People don't get that. Most people in the crypto market, why brothers say people lose money in the crypto market, is because they run after meme coins. They run after the Doge coins and the Shiba Inus. They run after those type of coins instead of looking at the coins that actually have utilities behind them. They actually have proven systems behind them. That's when you actually make money in cryptocurrency. Not running out the meme coins that don't have any utilities behind it at all.
Yeah, if I can chime in, so I really don't care about the speculations in Bitcoin or any asset for that matter. And you can speculate on anything. I think that to bring it back to the topic of discussion about the government, central bank, and digital currencies and crypto, right? Cryptocurrency, and I think you agree with this, Cliff, cryptocurrency represents a direct threat to central authorities, to the government, right or wrong.
Absolutely.
It's a direct threat, right?
Absolutely.
And so since we know that it's an objective fact that all, governments have a need to control its money so that it can control its societies, and that it can't control crypto, which that's a value point for the crypto people out there, is the fact that, the government can't control this. That's the reason why it's a direct threat with the government, right? And so for one to believe that crypto is going to take over, then it must overthrow the world's governments. And I am all for that. However, that is highly improbable just because they got the guns and the butter, right? So because they also know that it's coming, and I think that they are allowing it to, facilitate, because they have a better plan that they are going to utilize crypto as a Trojan horse to usher in their central bank and digital currency to get people to start to mentally adopt, because belief is a powerful thing. It's always belief, to go into this belief system of a cashless society. Therefore, it's easier to usher in the central bank and digital currency. See, China is already doing this, as Brother John y'all was talking about. They had the lotteries where they're giving people money. Money is a psychological phenomenon. People don't understand. It ain't got nothing to do with math. You don't need a degree. It's really psychology at the end of the day. And so they give people lottery. When people get money, they spend it. That's just a psychological thing. So because we know that that's people's actions, that's why we study human action in Austrian economics. We can see 10 steps ahead of what the outcomes are going to be, right? So China's already doing that. They issue people money into lotteries, like, I want some money. What are you going to do? Spend it. So they spend it into society, and so that's what they're doing now. But because it's digital, they can control everything that you do. It's not only just about them seeing, but they can direct your activities. And when I write artificial intelligence, Google TensorFlow, right? And when we're writing these programs, you have to incentivize the freaking algebraic expressions. These are just algebra expressions, okay? And you incentivize the code. You punish it. We feed it. We reward it with ones. We punish it with zeros. And it goes into a for loop, when it continues to loop over and over again until it gets better, whatever. And it's going after the rewards and trying to minimize and mitigate the failures until it gets to a high level of accuracy. Well, that's the same thing with people work, right? You got to understand they built all this stuff using the human neurological system, the human brain. That's all this artificial intelligence is about. Okay, so but that's why it's artificial. It's not real intelligence. So that's
Mm.
why I'm saying we have to get back to the real. People say going back is going backwards. No, going back is what's important for us to go forward because it's the real deal. So we got to get real money. We have to get to real money, not this artificial stuff that's arbitrary in this man-made system. We got to come back to God's system because it's although it's imperfect, it's perfect. Okay, so this digital stuff has these issues that I'm talking about where they will control and direct your activities. When COVID happened, you got to understand central banks, they hate deflation. Central governments do not want deflation. They will not allow deflation until they destroy their currency. That's what we're basically experiencing right now. They don't want it to occur. So that's why they always have a need to inflate. That's why they have Keynesian, the Keynesian economists that leads their policy, because it allows them to be able to inflate as much as possible. And so, with them actually, controlling the systems. When we had the COVID outbreak, it was causing the deflation that they did not want to occur. And I saw an interview with Mark Cuban, and everybody knows Mark Cuban. This guy's he's a billionaire. He's really intelligent. People like him on Shark Tank. He made his proposal to the central authorities, okay, that in order to prevent this deflation from occurring, because the government is the one who locked down the economy, okay, they shut it down. And so that's what caused the economic destruction. And it also caused them to, like Brother John Yah said, they create the issue and then present solution for the issue they created. So they created that situation. But Mark Cuban says we need to have people to have wallets. There you go, this digital situation, straight connected to the central banks. And then we issue out monies to the people because they know that when people get money, it's a psychological phenomenon. You're going to spend the money. Okay. So give them the money. They're going to spend the money into a society, which is supposed to create the inflation, right? The inflation itself is actually money introduced into the system. That's what inflation really is. But the symptoms of inflation is you see the prices they'll go up, right? Because people are bidding and competing in the marketplace, and you have more supply than the demand. So he said to do it this way, and this will stop the deflation. Hook everybody to the central bank, skip the banks, go straight to the central banks, give them digital wallets, issue them the lottery money as stimulus, okay? And then reward them for spending the money, punish them for not spending the money by taking the money away if they don't spend it in a week. Do you not know that people will spend that money as fast as hell because the money's there. Why would you not spend it? Okay, it's just a game. So that's what they want to do to try to keep the inflation going, to keep it, keep everything going. That's why the government has a need for that, and they have other needs for controlling this money as well. But because the government has this need to control it, and because they can't control crypto or Bitcoin or any of those things, they won't allow it. And the government doesn't compete. So the government is not going to have a space where it's competing with Bitcoin. So there has to be a victor at the end of this thing. And so, although I enjoy the premise of crypto, I just don't believe. I just think that it's highly improbable that it will overthrow the governments. What is your take on that?
I don't think cryptocurrency will overtake the governments either, to be honest. And this is what I think. I think cryptocurrency and what they're doing with the iOS 222, I mean 200 and yeah 22. I think they're trying to add crypto as another sector of the government with that aspect of cryptocurrency. Now I think cryptocurrency will essentially decentralized cryptocurrency will always be on the side. I think it will always be to where people can actually transition or do transactions between each other peer to peer. But I don't think it'll actually overtake the government. No.
So
I would be foolish to say it would actually overtake the government.
So recently Russia just kicked out crypto. What do y'all think of that?
Yeah, they kicked out crypto after they actually used XRP to facilitate transactions when the Swiss system actually cut them off from transactions. Yeah, they use cryptocurrency, and Russia is actually one of the biggest holders and one of the biggest miners of Bitcoin. Yet they banned it. So is China. Yet they banned it.
So I mean, when you say that, for the layman, what does it mean for them to be big whale holders, whale investors, if you will, yet ban it?
They're knocking their people from actually being able to take to get the potential profit gains off of that cryptocurrency. Yet they're bringing wealth to their country by mining that cryptocurrency.
Got you. Now,
And
there was
also,
some
United
questions.
States. My bad. The United States is actually the third largest crypto miner, Bitcoin miner in the world. Just to
And
add that in as well.
I was actually reading something here, and this was something that was published in 2017, but it talks about the Fed coin as an introduced central banking coin, as well as CAD coin. That's Canada's central banking coin, and they've been doing a lot of simulations with these in preparation to put it in play as not outside money like Bitcoin, but as it says here, unlike Bitcoin, Fed coin would not represent a competing private outside money, but would instead be an alternative form of sovereign currency, meaning an alternative form of cash. And this was written in 2017 with notes coming from writers in 2016. So, obviously, this is something that has been in the works for a long time, and at this point, it seems that there's no turning back. And I want to get to the idea of is there any turning back from this? I'd like to hear from John and Pierre and Leonard on that as well. But I want to get to a couple of these questions here. Real quick, and this was just because of some of the things that you mentioned. There's what keeps the government at bay, and I think is it the anonymity of it all right now? Is that what keeps the government at bay?
Yes, with decentralized cryptocurrencies, because it's pseudo. That's what keeps the government at bay.
So it's all these transactions are performed on the blockchain, right?
Yeah.
Which the blockchain is all about anonymity. Okay.
The blockchain is totally about becoming pseudo. See, what blockchain is basically a system that actually verifies different data and actually puts data and harnesses data to actually have it in a verifiable files. But what most people don't understand is that blockchain is actually virtually unhackable, because most ledger systems, like for instance Facebook, has around 10. They actually facilitates all the transactions that go on Facebook. The blockchain is made up of tens upon thousands of different computer systems. So in order for you to get into those computer systems to actually hack into that system, you have to hack into over 75% of that system. So most people don't understand the premise of blockchain. That's why blockchain is virtually unhackable. That's why government systems cannot affect the crypto market, decentralized crypto market. Now, a centralized cryptocurrency is totally different. They can actually go in and actually control the centralized cryptocurrencies. The centralized blockchain can absolutely be controlled by banking systems, institutions, and government systems.
Which is what we don't want. We don't want the central banks doing things like I just read and create their own Fed coin, CAD coin, or what have you, and replacing the sovereign monies that we have, or the sovereign currency that we have now. That's what we don't want, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. But this is the thing, though. Those coins were suspected to actually come out. They're not doing it with those coins anymore. They're doing it with XRP, Stellar Lumens, Algo, XDC, and it's another one they're actually doing it with as well too. I think they're trying to implement USDT. They're doing it with other cryptocurrencies now, centralized cryptocurrencies now. Instead of they're trying to make one world currency. That absolutely is a problem. We don't have an argument there. We don't have any argument at all. My standpoint on this is decentralization.
So, in other parts of this question, who creates the utilities that the coins use?
The company. A cryptocurrency is nothing but a transactional coin or transactional currency of a company. So, for instance, Cardano is the company. Cardano creates the technology that's actually in the utilities that's actually going to be used from that technology. The cryptocurrency, ADA, is what facilitates the transactions of that company.
So is this like when Brother Leonard talked earlier about the Sachem Cap? That company, for instance, they're a mortgage company, so they have something that they do that makes sense to people, and you might invest with them based on what that company does. That's kind of like utilities, right? That's what that means.
Exactly,
right?
Exactly. It depends on what that company actually is providing. Like for instance, Cardano does a lot of financial, a lot of the business and financial aspects of the crypto market. It's a decentralized cryptocurrency, decentralized financing cryptocurrency. So it does a lot of things when it comes down to loaning and staking out cryptocurrencies. So when people buy into ADA, you're actually buying into the transactional currency of that company. Whatever that company does, if that company goes up, guess what? ADA goes up. That company goes back down. If they're not facilitating transactions the right way, if that company loses the technology, guess what? That currency actually goes back down. Kind of, sort of, just like a stock, to be honest.
Absolutely, absolutely. Who establishes compliance and standards for cryptocurrency?
No one. That's why it's completely pseudo. For decentralized cryptocurrencies, no one. The company actually establishes that.
Got you. And people have a choice of whether to invest in that coin or what have you, based on the utilities as well as that company's standards and compliance. Correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. And here's my thing, and this is what I teach my students: you never invest into any cryptocurrency that has not proven itself. That has not proven they actually stand up to some type of regulation or some type of compliance. You don't want to invest into anything that has not proven themselves, that proven that technology actually works. Like for instance, you don't want to invest into Dogecoin. Dogecoin from the very beginning was known to be a meme coin. That's one of the worst investments you can actually make, not unless you actually know what you're doing. You want to invest into something like Cardano that has actually proven themselves year and year and year over. They actually have on their white paper, they actually have what they're currently doing, what they've done in the past, what their future predictions are for this company. Those are the type of cryptocurrency you want to get into. You never want to get into anything that does not have utilities behind it.
And the white paper, same as in stock, talks about the utilities and what they've done, past, present, future, all that good stuff.
Absolutely.
Good
Brother
stuff.
Joe, I want to, if I can, I want to speak
ahead,
on something. I guess Brother John, y'all was talking earlier about, like, sitting at the master's foot and, just history, and Brother Cliff may agree and may not. But when I was talking earlier about money, we've known about money for over 5,000 years. Nothing about it has changed. It goes into cycles, consistent cycles. Ray Dalio, who's the largest hedge fund manager in the world, Bridgewater, he actually has the money, the resources to conduct, extensive research that none of us could afford to do. He has analysts, he got all these people. So he actually did it. He wrote this one book called The Big Debt Crisis. This is really good for you guys to understand all the, everything pretty much about all the cycles and stuff like that, inflation, what have you, hyperinflation, all of that. And then he recently launched this book called The Changing World Order. This one here. And it was a work in progress. He actually would give accounts to his research as he was actually writing the book. So one of the things that he highlighted, he's gone 5,000 years through history. 500 of them he actually traded through. Like, he had his team to create simulated environments, and he actually, basically wrote on what he observed from going through these experiences, through this experiment. And one of the things that he posted in here, how money actually consistently goes in cycles. It doesn't matter what technology happens or occurs. Technology has always been something that's always come about. Okay, so we've always had technology. But one thing is consistent is the flow of money. He says it goes to type 1, which is hard money. That's your gold. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but that's your gold and your silver. It's always type 1. It always starts there. And then it goes to type 2, which is claims on hard money. Okay, that's when you go to a money, a note, a paper money that's backed by a real asset, a real commodity, gold. Then it goes to type 3, fiat money, where it's not backed by anything. Okay, the money is now taken off of being backed by anything that has real value. And then after that, crashes and burns. That's why all fiat currencies die. It goes back to gold and silver, and then the cycle continues over and over again. He also highlights it here again in this portion here, as he talks about China's history. And China has a very rich written history that we can actually study. And he goes over the types of money, type 1, type 2, type 3, and it continues to cycle over and over again. Technology has always been a thing, and I think that to the technologists, that we're going to live in this completely digital world. So we're going to live in a metaverse. We're going to have, Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, going to have you living in these goggles. Your grandmother, your great grandmother is going to be walking around in Amazon and Walmart with these goggles in a metaverse. She ain't even got to go to the physical store. I think that belief A lot of us love science fiction type stuff. I'm guilty of it. I love sci-fi stuff as well. But I think that sometimes we get so far away from the real. We got to get back to the real. Like I say, you got to get away from the dildos, get the real. You feel me? So I think that when we see history, objective facts, this has always been the cycle of money. This has always been the historical, and the past isn't indicative of the future, but it is a really good teacher. And we're talking 5,000 years, all kind of technologies have occurred, but it always cycled through the same thing. And so this is again one of the reasons why I'm about going back to gold, because to me, although it's imperfect, it is perfect for societies. So that's my point.
I absolutely agree with you on that one, bro. Now I am a crypto investor, but I've been a precious metal investor pretty much all my life. I've been collecting coins since I was younger. And I do. That's the original version of currency. That right there will never go away. That right there is stored value. That's stored wealth. So I totally agree with you on that one, bro.
Absolutely, absolutely. And somebody else did ask the question, what was the price of Ethereum when you bought that property? Do you remember?
It was roughly around, I think it was low over $400 when I bought that property. But hey, fellas, I got to jump off because I had another podcast I got to jump in at 11 o'clock. I appreciate this dialogue. It's been very, very, very informational.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
No problem. And one of the things I wanted to add to that space when we're talking about is to be a person who is an objective thinker, an objective researcher, and not just kind of follow what you're hearing. So as the listeners, you want to know is what you're not hearing, right, before you make these investments. And this is what I mean when I'm saying being an objective thinker is reading stuff that is anti whatever it is you're looking for, right? It helps you make better answers or make better choices in your life when you become an objective thinker, not just believing in something because someone said it and dangle something in front of you and then prove some points. It's very important to be an objective thinker because here's the thing. And I'm a student of neuroscience. Okay, so even in my thesis of my writing, it deals with a lot about the subconscious mind and how the subconscious mind works based on what you think, who you think you are, and how you believe these things. I have a great book called Psycho-Cybernetics. It's a very dope book and talks about the mindset of how the brain works and information that you retrieve that you begin to think that it is real or it is a fact. It is a fact and real to you, but it doesn't mean it carries on to someone else's mindset. So that's why those who are listening, I love this talk because it wasn't one-sided. It was giving you an objective view so that you can think clearly and begin to do your research before you just hear some things that sound good and then run into it. And this is the problem. There's always a sucker born every day. There's always a new sucker coming into the world that don't know nothing, and they'll hear a little stuff and sound good and run into it. So I invite everyone to do some objective thinking. I don't care what it is that you're getting ready to get into, even religion. Do an objective thinking and look behind the scenes. Move your emotions from it, because if your emotions is tied in it, that means your belief system believes everything. And then here's what happens. When you believe something, the universe continues to recycle and bring you the same information again to validate your belief. And you believe what you think, and you think what you believe, and you're going down a rabbit hole. And the way to break that cycle is to begin to question. No one, I believe this, and this is a very interesting point. If you ever get a chance, brother, if you ever get a chance to check this out, Psycho-Cybernetics, it is dope. Listen, I tell everyone, never believe everything you think. If you do, you are doomed. That means you can never grow out of that box. And every time, I love this word when I use it a lot when I call provoking thought. Because if I provoke your thought, that means I change your whole neurons in your brains and they start to shape a little differently. If people begin to think what they were thinking yesterday, guess what their tomorrow is going to be? The same thing as today. So you got to go out realm of that and do some objective research. So those who are listening, even what you hear out of my mouth, do some objective research on it. Just don't believe everything that comes out of my mouth, because even I don't believe everything I think. I'm always researching and changing my own concept. And that's one of the things I'm writing in my thesis of escaping death row. So do some objective research.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that's important, and that's one of the things that we talk about all the time on this show. And I think a lot of that within our culture, it seems to be a normalcy to hear what one person in the family or a friend, sitting on the stoop or whatever says, and then we run with that, as opposed to actually going, picking up a book, or guess what, picking up this supercomputer that you have in your hand and doing a little research. I mean, I was in a rabbit hole this morning as I was researching quinine. John, you remember we talked about that early on in the beginning of the C pandemic, as an ingredient inside certain tonic waters and stuff. Then I wanted to know where quinine comes from. It comes from the bark of trees that are around African and Caribbean areas, and then I wanted to know the history of the use of it and stuff. So you have the ability right in the palm of your hand to go ahead and research anything. So at this point in time, there's really no excuse for anyone to not, at the very minimal, be seeking knowledge. Now, this was a question that popped up as well, and I think that there's some more context that's needed with this question. He says he got locked out of his blockchain account, and I knew. He said he knew his password and never see the money again. What can you do when this happens? I don't know specifically, the context surrounding this, because I know, for instance, when I first started Forex trading, I had a particular brokerage account, and I sent money. And when you send money, then it's like a 15-minute time frame that has to be sent in. And I didn't pay attention to that. I sent money a second time thinking I could send it to the same address, but that address had expired. No worries. Called up the company, the brokerage company, and excellent customer service. They took care of it and moved my money where it needed to move to. But that was my own ignorance in the beginning of that anyway, in not paying attention. So I think even with this question, there would have to be some more context as to, because I don't know of anyone. I don't know much about having a blockchain account as much as I know about having a brokerage account, a Forex trading, for instance, brokerage account that is, of course, money is transacted on the blockchain. So Health Daddy, wow, we're gonna have to.
Yeah, but that's a real risk, though. That's a real risk that
Absolutely.
crypto people can't just avoid that. You know what I'm saying? When you promoting this thing to people to use, you got to go and highlight some of the real risks too. Because again, when people are making decisions, you're making decisions from alternatives. You're trying to understand what are the risks and what are the rewards and how can you mitigate those things. And the risk in this situation can be very dire. Especially if you put all you sign up to this crypto religion and you put all your money behind it, and you get locked out of your account. That's it for you. There's nothing you can do about it. You're toast. You're done. If you don't own it, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. If I got my safe, if I got cash in here and I got gold in here, even if I lose my password, I can still get in it because it's actually something. Crypto is nothing. It's imaginative. It's imaginary. It's a figment of people's imagination. It's a play on the subjective value theory. But gold is actually real. Dollars is actually real, okay? Real, physical in the real world, not the artificial world. And so even if you were to lose it, somebody can find it. I mean, somebody can return it to you. Even if you got locked out of your safe or what have you, you can still crack it open, bust it open, and get what you need out of it, And so those are some of the issues that, I think that, people play, because there's a lot of people that's actually losing their money and, can't get access to their accounts. Even worse, right now we're facing a time where we're seeing famines take place. We're seeing wars take place. Stuff is looking real biblical right now. Do you want to be the person with your assets in a digital account? I know the technologists love this technology stuff. But people understand from real world experiences. I mean, everybody's been through a time period when your lights went out in your house from a lightning strike or something, and you're not having electricity. People are not just dumb, okay? People understand it. Your grandma and them, they kept money. They wasn't broke. They kept money. They didn't have a PhD or nothing like that, but they understood it. You know, your mom and them, they always told you to keep some cash on hand. You never know, you're traveling or whatever. You don't keep all your money digital. You keep it on you. You keep some stuff on you just in case, right? But if you go into the digital world and they drop an EMP, anything to knock out electricity, you are toast. Your
You,
Bitcoin can't do nothing for you. There's no way you can survive. But at least if I got some cash on hand, I got some gold, some silver coins, I can go and do barter. I can do barter. In fact, in China, the funny in Shenzhen, when they was doing these lockdowns, and there still are, but they doing these lockdowns, they were showing people, and they got videos of people in these condos, they build these towers, people in condos trapped in their apartments, trapped in where they live at, because the government won't let them out, and so they can't go anywhere, right? So what they have been doing is they created a barter system in their buildings, and so to get the things that they need, the
mm,
government is actually delivering them food, but the food is expired by the time it gets to them. So people are shouting from the balconies of their buildings. You can look this up and look at the videos. But in the apartments, people are going back to barter. They're bartering stuff. Hey, I got some bread. You got some flour, and they're exchanging. From that. And so that's why I say people, you can't expect that people are just dumb. Like people understand some of the risks of these things, but when you're selling people like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, and so you have all these people that's jumping into the crypto space, not quite understanding it. You don't have a foundation in understanding currencies. I have a foundation in understanding, any of these things, and then you jump into the space, and it's like a religion at the end of the day. Now, as far as speculation, you can speculate on anything. People speculate on freaking Michael Jordan sneakers, basketball cards, all that stuff.
My man.
It's something that happens all the time. But I do think that we can't just glaze over the risk involved with this crypto stuff. It is really risk, and I think that the risk outweighs the reward. And when the risk outweighs the reward, people are going to seek a better alternative. And so, again, you always got to go back to the real, man. It's again, if the crypto is imaginary, it is not even real. But because they know the subjective value theory that people assign values to things, this is what this is the play on at the end of the day. You need to get back to the real because again, stuff like gold has an objective use value. Before it became money, people always use it. That's why it never loses its value. It is rare. You can't just the fact that labor is involved is just one of the aspects that keeps its quantity limited. Okay, because it requires all this labor, so therefore the government can't inflate it. You feel me? That's what keeps its quantity regulated. It doesn't involve central planners. Before central banks, we've always had gold. We've always had these things. People assume that you can't have a society without government. We can. We had it before. It's the gold standard because people were
Well,
exchanging it, but it has a
tell you what,
real value.
mm.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna call up to Fort Knox and tell them Pierre Lawson says we need an accountants of the gold that's in here because we need to know if it's some real gold up in here. I think the aliens got it, but that's just me. I think they gave it all to the aliens, but I'm out there. Either way, man, this has been.
I mean,
Go ahead, brother.
yeah.
Go ahead, Pete.
Oh yeah. No, I was just saying. If you remember French President Charles A. de Gaulle, when we went to the Bretton Woods Exchange, okay, the French president, he saw what America was doing. So what people don't understand is like, I guess when you hear people like Donald Trump say "Make America Great Again," they're really talking about matters of economics. Like everything used to be manufactured and made here in the United States. The way you see China, everything in your house today is made in China or somewhere down in Asia. But that used to be America. Okay, so the wealth of a nation is determined by its productivity. You
Mm.
see, so that's why you see we don't have a productive society. We're a service society, and China's wealth is going up because they are producing stuff. But they wasn't that way before. That used to be America.
Correct.
And so when America, because everybody was exchanging, buying things from America, it made sense for them to sign up for the dollar becoming the global reserve currency because they're already doing trades and transactions in the dollar anyway. So it just made sense for them because I always wondered like, why in the hell will all these countries give their gold to America? That's the reason why. So they actually turned their gold over to America. with the expectation that they can retrieve their gold by exchanging the dollars back for the gold. You remember, money was the dollar used to be able to it was gold from the vaults. Can you guys hear me? I think I'm lagging a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
back
Yeah.
now.
So yeah, you used to go to a bank and retrieve gold from the bank. Okay. French President Charles A. de Gaulle, when he saw what America was doing, he said, "Oh no, we can't do this." He went to America. He sent his naval ships to New York. Okay. He sent Navy boats, war fighters to New York to get his gold. Okay. He said, I want my gold. I see what America's doing. Give me my gold. I'm gonna blast y'all. And what we do, we gave the man his gold. You can look up videos of it on YouTube or whatever you want to do. But he actually came and retrieved his gold. When the other countries saw that he retrieved his gold, they started requesting their gold. And this is the reason why we came off the gold exchange. When Nixon took us off the gold exchange, because it would have been, a nightmare for America, because again, we lent out all these dollars but didn't have the gold to account for it. So if everybody's going to take these dollars to then exchange for the gold, we don't have the amount of gold to give them. So that's why he took us, disconnected it, so that the other countries will stop trying to request their gold. And then the Watergate scandal happens, and then we haven't gone back. It's just been left over. It was supposed to be a temporary measure, actually, but you know that happened, and we never went back to it. So that's how that all happened. So it's actually gold there, and that's the reason why America has the most gold, because all the countries turn their freaking gold over to us.
Mm,
Not to mention that when we do overthrow other countries, first thing we take is their gold.
yeah.
And that was something, when they made a law years ago. Was it in the 30s or whatever? They made a law to for American citizens. They had to come and exchange their gold. At the time, it was like $20 an ounce at the time or something like that.
Yeah, but the reality is, unlike in the digital world, in the real world, I got the gold on me. So although the government, signed this law, decree, or what have you, for people to turn in their gold, most people didn't turn in their gold. Yeah. How can the government even know I have it? They don't know I have it. So I don't have to turn it in. But if
Yeah,
it's digital, like what Mark Cuban was suggesting, you don't spend it, they don't take it. It's in a digital world, they can track it, they can see it. But when you have the gold, it's really anonymous. It's truly anonymous. A lot, not in the digital world. And so, yeah, that happened in the 30s, and then it happened in 1971 under Nixon, when we completely got them pegged. But yeah, everybody didn't turn in their gold. Yeah, so, because you got some people that's going to be loyal to the government and follow suit.
exactly. Man, so a vast conversation
Just
here.
like they have the alcohol prohibitions and everything, people still had liquor houses and people still started liquor and stuff like that. So in the real world, the government can't control that. They actually literally had to come and physically seize it from you. And because in America, unlike these other countries, we got the right to bear arms, and so that presents another problem to the government that keeps them at bay.
Absolutely. With such a, I mean, this has been a great conversation about currency, and there's lots of information shared. Leonard, last words before we head out. Any thoughts? Any books you want to suggest people read? Anything whatsoever before we get out of here?
Yes, this is a great, great, great show. I don't know if Pierre, if you're still doing Wall Street Jack Boys. Are you still doing that?
Yeah, so Wall Street Jet Boys is a standalone platform. It's always available for anybody that wants to go there and learn and actually engage. We got a 24/7 live chat room, so you can always jump in. It's free. We do charge for the courses. Again, that's mainly to keep the upkeep of the site. I got like one of the best sites in the world, and I put my name on that because I built it. And it's a lot of time and effort that goes into making sure that we got the best of technologies. I don't do anything rinky dink. Okay, anything I do is going to have the best of quality. As men, we're competing with other people, other ethnic groups, and so I don't want us to be the ones that's always the bottom of the barrel, looking all rinky dink. My stuff look like Harvard Business School. When you go in there and see it, the class, everything is designed in such a way, and so you're getting quality, you're getting everything you need. But the website is there if you guys want to check it out. WallStreetJackBoys.com. You're more than welcome to register. Registration is free.
There you go. And that's what I wanted to do. Is like I said, is I've been me and my brother been going back and forth for some years, and I'm glad to see him on the show. I'm glad to see him bringing his knowledge. Like I said, he, along with some other people, got me interested in stocks and different things. So like I said, is with that, building my knowledge, doing my research, doing, just getting out there, all right, and getting involved. That's how you do it. So until next show I think we're gonna have to try to look at some Vice stocks. All right, to look at some Vice stocks. I got one that I know of that's considered, Vice stocks are considered recession proof. So that's what I'm gonna be bringing to the table next week is some Vice stocks.
Awesome. And as we see, this is my man's site, and that was one of the things that I noticed last week when we first put it up. I was like, if I didn't know you, then I would not know that this was a minority owned website or anything like that. And as John has said before, the ability to get away from making products that are, maybe for specific people. Just make a good product, just make a good quality product and put it out there. However your passion works and things of that nature, just make that good quality product. And this is the only part where I looked at and I said, okay, well, since I know, Pierre, then, and I see his face here, then that's the only thing that makes me think. But if I didn't know anything about Pierre Lawson, I would just look and be like, okay, I see forums, I see people talking, this, that, and the other, information. You know what I mean? I wouldn't even look at, whether it's a minority owned, company product or what have you. I just see good quality stuff here.
Correct.
And that was part of the thing that I sent you a text about last week. John and I both, we want to help you push and promote this more. So however we can work together to make that happen, then let's do that, because I believe that you got knowledge and education that more people need. And, of course, we see each other and people. We probably all have more people that look like us around us. So per our community's necessity of financial information, it would be more of us getting involved in these courses and things.
I totally appreciate you guys. I've been so busy. I've been super, super busy. I work in the capital markets, and I'm in charge of, basically, creating liquidity for a pretty large fund. So, all of this is actually taking up a lot of my time lately, and so I have to be careful how I'm allocating my time. And so I haven't spent as much time with, being active like I used to. But that's the reason why I designed the site in such a way that it doesn't require for my presence to be there. Because I'm not trying to be the star. We could do this talk without me being on the screen. I don't even care about that. It's important that people get the information. That's why I'm glad you guys got your podcast and you're able to reach people. We all can try to reach people. You're not going to reach everybody because everybody don't want to be reached.
Correct.
Some people are still plugged into the matrix, but we want to reach those people that actually have a desire to want to learn and want to grow with, other people. And so the site itself, it is, again, you have an educational side, but then it's also a social platform, kind of like a Facebook meets Harvard Business School. And so you have a profile, you have timeline, you can interact with other people, connect with other people. We have instant messenger as well, just like your Facebook. You got video calling, you can video call people and all of that in there. We got the live chat rooms, the video chat, audio chat, whatever you guys want to do. I basically created the platform so that we can do everything that you can do on a Facebook and what have you. So when we started on Facebook, reaching out to people, I used to do the shows and everything for free, actually, the teachings and stuff like that. But what I realize is that you don't control or own any of your content when you put it on Facebook. Facebook actually owns and controls it. And then you get a couple of incidents when Facebook actually starts to, ban you or ban certain materials. I used to write a lot. I used to write articles teaching people about, inflation, teaching people and my predictions about the recessions that come. So a lot of people know that my predictions have came true as I wrote. But Facebook will, mark some of those publications as political speech. So I then
Mm,
had to apply for a license through Facebook so that I'm able to talk politics. I don't talk politics, I talk economics. And so, but they, sometimes you can't avoid talking to politics because, the regulators, they're the ones who's controlling the environment from which economics is flowing through. So we can't help it but to speak in politics in some cases. But because of all the restrictions of Facebook, and then it's a one-sided, transaction where they get all the rewards, they get everything, and then you're subject to all the bad things. They're not subject to anything bad. So anybody that's running a Facebook community group or anything, you read a fine line, you'll see these things. I'm a developer as well. You see, like I built my site. I'm a developer. I have a developer license with Facebook as well. And even right now, I got to update the developer and stuff like that because having access to the data, like Facebook and all these companies, they covet the data because data is the new oil. It's what they highly. So when we first started, in 2015, technology was different. The internet was different. Websites was different. Having a website, first of all, was a big thing. And so I had the website, but then Facebook all kind of hoops and stuff like that. And so I decided to build a website anyway, so we can own and control all of our processes. I don't have to worry about saying something and Facebook ban me. If I'm a leader of
right.
a community, you can't ban me. I can't reach out to my community. But if I have my own space, I'm the only person that can ban me. So, and I built the same thing. Everything you could do on Facebook, you could do in our community. But I had to make it in a way that allows it to be future proof and scalability. And so with the scalability comes all you guys on my space on the Wall Street Jack Boys. Everybody can have their own space. I've invited several crypto guys who have their own groups and stuff like that. That hey, we have crypto space there. You can own and control that space. You can go live. You could do your, teachings, your classes, whatever the case may be. You could do it for free. You could charge a fee. Whatever you want to do, I have the infrastructure for all of that. Your show, everybody can have a space on Wall Street Jack Boys. In fact, we have a couple of spaces on Wall Street Jack Boys that I would like to highlight. We have a space called Legends and Gurus. Legends and Gurus is where we take all the top investors in the world, like the Ray Dalios, the Warren Buffetts, and all these guys, and then we actually break down their portfolios. What are they buying? What are they selling? What are they doing? We also take down their thoughts on the economy and society so that we can all triangulate this information from the big dogs. They got more information than we have. So I think it's important to understand what the big dogs are talking about. So we have a list of people there, and it's not just stock guys. We got Jay-Z in there because he's an investor. We got some people that, try to make it hip because I know some people like, oh, I want to know what Jay-Z's buying. Oh, I want to know what Yo Gotti's buying. Yeah, Yo Gotti's an investor as well. So he has a profile on the website, but you guys can actually add the profiles as well, and you can add to it, and it's just a way that people can deliver the content. So that's why I say I made it in a way that it doesn't require for me to be there, but I haven't spent much time in actually teaching people how to really use it to maximize for them because it's really I want you guys to actually facilitate it because I'm busy in the capital markets so much nowadays. It's a lot going on with interest rates and stuff going on, so it's taking up a lot of my time. And I like to be there present, but I'm not as present as I used to be. I used to be there all day, every day, and you guys will catch me there maybe once a day now. So, but it's not about me. It's about the community, about everybody else. We have different levels of traders and investors. I don't have all the answers. Nobody has all the answers, but we could put together our things. We could triangulate the information, sift out the bad, take the good. And so that's kind of like what it's about. It's this platform of, okay, we have the educational suite. If you want to go and learn, you can do that. But if you already got the knowledge, cool. You don't have to go do that. You don't have to pay for the class. You just jump in with the community. You can put out information, drop information in the timeline, in the feed, just like how you do on Facebook. And the best thing of all is that it's our platform. When I say ours, it's our community. We own and control this. You guys want to bring up some points? You got some suggestions you want to make? Say, hey, brother Pierre, can you add this or can we do that? Yes, I can do it right now because I'm the developer. Like I actually go in there and make it and put it together. So anyway, but that's the Wall Street Jack voice for you guys. If y'all want to check it out, it's great. Last things I would like to say because I know Brother Joe did ask about some books to recommend in this space. This is a really good, short, sweet book, a small little pocket size. It's called What Has Government Done to Our Money? It's by
Mm,
Dr. Murray N. Rothbard. Murray Rothbard was like a freaking machine gun. If you ever heard this guy speak and debate, this guy was ruthless. He's an Austrian. He's a student of Mises, Ludwig von Mises. But this is a short, sweet book that actually tells you everything you need to know about money. And then Ray Dalio's book, as I mentioned to you guys earlier, The Changing World Order. This is actually a really great piece. I don't agree with everything that Dalio has to say about politics stuff. However, his research is prolific. It's crazy. Also, Louis von Mises himself, he wrote this book called The Theory of Money and Credit in the 1920s. All right. So this book right here is written in the 1920s. It's called A Theory of Money and Credit. And where he covers all the things that we talked about earlier, like the subjective value theory, objective value, inflation itself. The Austrian School of Economics is the ones who discovered the business cycle that Ray Dalio and these other guys talk about. And so they're on the opposite side of Keynesian economics. So you see the Keynesians, you see the Federal Reserve guys. Well, these guys are on the other side of what they were stood for. So, and this book right here, it's a little technical, but if you're interested in it, these are some books that I would definitely recommend. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Awesome. Good stuff, Brother John. Before we exit out, brother, please, drop something on us. And I do want to say, Brother El Patar, he said, damn, I missed this. Family, the replay game is always vicious. You can hit us up on Spotify. You can hit us up on YouTube. You can hit us up on even Instagram. We were live right now. You can do the replay here on Facebook. Google Podcast. Who else? Amazon Music. We're there too. So you miss us live. Guess what? You can jump on us in the aftermath. So. Definitely want to make sure we mention that. Brother John.
Oh, man. Listen, man. Peace to all the guys in the room, man. I appreciate you brothers coming in here and we having this gentleman talk about currency and money. I was intrigued. I'm definitely learned definitely a lot. I'm always learning something. Brother Pierre, you definitely bring some great information. I appreciate those books you dropped. And I will be getting, I know, one of these books for sure. And so, one of the things I think I love about your Second Amendment, right? You in love with the Second Amendment. I appreciate that too. Everybody here is in an interesting space that brought us together, particularly in this frequency space of talking about money. One of the things that draw my interest most is talking about wealth and health, and that's why I kind of lay. And even with my book Escaping Death Row, it's definitely dealing with mindset and how you can change your mindset and people coming from dying situations based upon how they grew up and the things that their failures, their hopes and dreams and how other people treat them become to where it makes up your life. Like we're walking around in a habitual world to where 80% of our lives are habitual. And it's one piece that I try to teach. But definitely, I appreciate this space. I appreciate putting this information out there. And I just enjoy this particular show, The Tipping Point, because it's putting information out there that my great grandbabies can come back and pull back and say, hey, what Papa doing back then, right? So it's very important. Again, I appreciate you, brothers, for coming on. Appreciate you, Leonard. When I first thought about inviting you to come and do some of those stock tips, it was to change our platform, not being a crypto thing, opposed to bringing in where we can talk about stocks and investments and dividends. And I knew that area. And even with Sister Heather, appreciate that sister coming in here and dropping her understanding about business. Hey, if you're interested in starting a business and you want to know about business, easily drop her a link and join her class. You can learn a lot from that sister, definitely on the basics of understanding business. So I enjoy this and looking forward to doing the show on the matrix and what is the matrix and how we can identify the matrix and programs that are in the matrix so that we can understand our mindsets, because it's very important. So appreciate you brothers for coming on, man. Y'all definitely get my blood to flowing as I'm on my way to Cincinnati to visit my accounts.
Absolutely, man. John said it all. Appreciate everybody. And I want to explain something real quick about synergy and when you're in alignment with people, and let me never speak on that without saying that a lot of my understanding has come from this brother, John Yah Esoteric Concepts, just the same. And just a second ago, when we talk synergy, okay, synergy by definition, is the interaction or cooperation of two or more organizations, substances, or other agents to produce a combined effect greater than the sum of their separate effects. Okay? Now, you know what's dope about that? All of us are in different spaces right now. But while John was talking, Leonard took a drink of water. And then Pierre took a drink of water. And then I felt the need to take a drink of water. You know what I mean? So synergistically, you know, as Leonard started that movement or that cooperation, you know, it's just dope how when you're in alignment with people mentally, how synergy evolves and revolves within that alignment. So I just want to say, man, love it. Again, everybody's great show. You know, and John, maybe you can help with this. You know, Pierre, y'all probably know too. Leonard, y'all probably know too. Asante, Sana, you know, all that good stuff right there. And you know, look, she's got a water bottle just like you, Leonard. So you know, it's dope, man, and I love this show just the same. It's you know, I've got 3 shows that I'm involved in, and you know, I don't always, you know, tell my kids which one is the favorite. But I'm gonna say this is my favorite show right here. Absolutely. So with that being said, folks, until next week, same place, same time. It is the Tipping Point Show. You got something you want to say real quick?
You got a question, Pierre, brother. So you said, I was listening to what you was talking about your platform. So somehow we can link this show to your platform?
Yes.
Yes, gotta have it.
Yes, you guys can have your own space, actually. I mean,
yes. I meant to tell you that we accept. Yes.
Thank you. Okay. So make sure that we exchange, contacts. I do have a meeting I'm getting ready to go into for about an hour or so, but later on today, if you guys want to chat it, chop it up, just give me.
No doubt.
Give me a call.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because the space, the affiliate link, so that we can help push even more. Then most definitely. And since you design it, he reminds me of Ken, and because he speaks on that same thing as Ken created the BitcoinCampus.org website, and he did it all himself. It does the same AI technology stuff that it sounds like you do as well. And, created it so that he could back off and do other things. And the site runs itself in a sense. But either way, man, love it. Love y'all, brothers. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, brothers. Peace.
You are listening to The Tipping Point Show with your host, Mr. Just Ask Joe, John Yeah. Right here on WLOU. Stream it live on Facebook and WLOUonline.com. And now, The Tipping Point Show.